Love always. Okay, it is Friday night at 9:11 p.m. And first of all, I saw this on YouTube yesterday. And it like when I saw it, it immediately grabbed my attention. So I saved it to my watch later because I was like, I know this is gonna come in handy. Right? So some keywords for this reading before I get started. Doves, either the bird doves or the soap dove, because I'm also getting cucumber melon, and also 1997 and Smart Guy, right? If you remember that show, Smart Guy, right? So yesterday I saw that show Smart Guy. It was Taj Mori, and he played the character T.J. Henderson, where he was like a child genius that was in high school. And he had an older brother named Marcus Henderson, right? And Marcus's character was like really, really, really into music, right? So on one episode where he's dating this girl, Stacy, and they break up, and I forget what all happens because it's been so many years since I've seen the show. If you have Disney Plus, I think it's on Disney, right? So you can go ahead and watch it. You can find it and watch it if you even remember that show. If you've never seen the show, if you have Disney Plus, it's on Disney. But I'm not sure if it's on Disney or Hulu. I'm pretty sure Disney. But anyways, I'm also getting shower shaved and oiled up. I don't know why, but I'm also getting shower shaved and oiled up, right? But anyways, in that episode, they do a performance at the end where he sings this song called Love Always. And that song, like a clip, somebody uploaded a clip of just that one scene where he sings that song Love Always. And the message that came through today, right? Also, I'm getting, if you remember, his name on the show was Marcus Henderson, but the character, the actor's name was actually Jason Weaver. So I'm also getting Jason, Marcus, Henderson, and Weaver, or any names that start with J, M, W, or H, right? Anyways, so the message that I just got a few minutes ago, I'm trying to hurry up because today is Friday. And as you know, Friday is ruled by Venus. So I really, really want to get this up and upload it tonight, if possible, right? So the message that I got is that there's someone from your past, divine feminine or divine masculine, right, that is in deep regret. There is someone in your past that is in deep regret, especially if you are an old, like not old, but like an older, like if you're 30s and up, right? If you're 30s and up, there's like this energy about the older we get, the more hopeless the dating pool gets, right? And I'm one of those firm believers, like call me naive if you want, I don't care, but I'm one of those firm believers that there are still good people out there. And a lot of people will tend to see me as naive because I tend to want to see the best in people. And sometimes that can be a detrimental trait when I'm trying to see the best in someone, even when they're showing me that like it's not there. I keep trying to find the good, right? But I'm definitely one of those people where I still firmly believe that there are good people out there. But even as we get older, it's not, those good people are becoming harder to find, right? I'll at least be real about that. I'll be a realist when it comes to that. The good people are becoming harder to find. I don't know why I just heard, because they're all in the house. They're all in the house. They're not outside. But anyways, there's something about this person from your past being in deep regret because they are coming to the realization that the older we get, the more hopeless the dating pool gets. And this is specifically for a divine feminine, right? This is specifically for a divine feminine. There's something about, and it has a lot to do with the dating world and the mentality that we're in now, with so many people jumping online and creating pages and deeming themselves, dating coaches and dating gurus with no kind of credential. Like, this is just my personal belief. Why would you take advice on dating from someone who either has never been married or has never had a successful marriage? Like, if you're going to be a dating coach, at least have a long-standing successful marriage, right? Or if you don't believe in marriage, at least a long-standing successful partnership. I don't know, but at least have something long-standing. I don't understand why people would take dating advice from someone who has never been in a long-standing successful relationship or marriage. That's just me personally. To each their own. Like, I wouldn't take tips on how to become a millionaire from someone who barely has a couple of $100 in their bank account. It just doesn't. The math ain't mathin', right? Not to say that you can't get there, but we all know that experience is the best teacher, right? Life is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. Anyways, there's something about like with the culture that we're in now, with especially when it comes to like women, we're not perfect, right? Women, we're not perfect either. So this is not a dig on the men, but the message, the download that came through is that with this whole dating culture and with men being like, oh, well, with men, it's easier for us because, or for them, I'm just saying this as a man speaking to another man, right? If a man were speaking to another man, that men are telling other men that it's easier for them because they can always date younger. Men are saying, oh, we don't dry up. We can always date younger. But you have to understand that younger women, while there are some excellent choices in younger women, yes, I've had friends that when we were younger were very mature for their age. So while it does exist, you have to understand that with younger women, there's also the lack of experience, right? And there's also the lack of maturity. So there's something about, and this is specifically for, like I said, I'm not taking a dig at men. This is specifically for this download, because the download that came through was, this was a man. I don't know if he went to a dating coach or if he just happens to listen to dating coaches online, but this was a man who was like, you know what, I'm just going to date younger. And he dated a younger woman and got played. I mean, got completely played. I don't know why I'm getting ran through, but his man got played. He got played by this younger woman. And now he's in deep regret, right? Now he's in deep regret, especially if this was something where this younger man, this is like a third party situation, right? This is a third party situation. And especially if this is a case where this man chose another, whether younger or not, because I'm also getting either younger or someone of another race, right? They chose someone of another race thinking that they're better. And women, we're guilty of that too. I've heard plenty of women dating coaches telling women men of other races are better. It has nothing to do with the race. It is the person. You have good and bad people of all races, of all ages, of all sizes, right? It's the person, it's the individual. You guys keep wanting to lump everyone into one category. And while statistics may sometimes favor that, we all know that every individual person is not the same. This is the reason why we're in this culture now. Like, women get upset because they're like, oh, men say that all women are this, all women are that. That's not true. Well, you can't get mad at men for saying that and then turn around and go watch female dating coaches that basically do the same thing. This is why we're in the culture or the state that we're in now, because people want to lump everybody into one category, and that's not how that works. We are people. We are all individual. We are all different. And a lot of times people's personalities, their outlooks, their perspectives are shaped on their individual experiences. So if you want to change someone's perspective, you can't just tell them, you can't just do that. You have to show them that there's different, right? That's just how that works. People have their perspective because of the reality that they live in, because of the experiences that they've had. So if you want to prove to them that there's different out there, you have to show them. Let them experience something different, and then they'll come to realize. You can't just force someone to accept your train of thought, right? You can't force someone to accept your ideologies, right? They have to experience that for themselves. That's just how that works. But anyways, this is something to do with someone choosing another party because they felt like the other party was better for whatever reason. Like I said, either they were younger, of a different race. For someone, I'm getting size. They were bigger. If you were someone who they didn't like you because you were too skinny, they were smaller. If you were someone who's a little on the chunky side, but they went with someone else because they felt that that person would be better. And the universe showed them that, aesthetics, it's on the inside what counts. Like aesthetics, yes, they're pleasing, but it's on the inside what counts. And this person learned a harsh lesson, right? This person learned a very harsh lesson, and they're now in deep regret. And so I went and I listened to the lyrics of the song. As soon as I listened to the lyrics, I was like, okay, let me get up and do a video. So I'm sorry if it sounds rushed, but I really want to get this out tonight with the energy of Venus, right? Anyways, I'm just going to say a couple of the lyrics that he says, and then I'm going to say how it all ties in. So when he's singing in the verse, he goes, I wish I could take back every tear I made you cry. And then, like, I'm skipping a couple of verses because I'm kind of just skipping through. He says, walk in the rain to leave this letter at your door. So there's heavy energy around written communication, right? You're going to get some sort of written communication from this person, right? And it's something about, like, this person is struggling. Like, if you've been feeling this energy, especially if you've been having dreams about this person, or if you're seeing this person's name, hearing this person's name, or if you just been like, this person has been heavy on your mind lately out of nowhere, it's because this person has been thinking about you. This person is heavily thinking about you, and they're wanting to reach out, but they're like struggling to find the right words, right? They don't know, after what they've done or after what they've said, or knowing that they chose someone over you, they're like, how do I come back from that? Can I even come back from that? And we're going to get to divine feminine, or if this is the reverse and this is divine masculine, we're going to talk about that at the end, about, what you should do regarding this situation, right? But they're struggling to find the right words. So that's why they're going to put it in writing, right? They're going to put it in writing, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be sincere. This letter, this text, this DM, whatever this is going to be from the bottom of their heart. It's going to be sincere, right? And if you're like, well, if they're sincere, if they want to talk to me, why don't they just call? Because they're thinking if they call, you won't answer. A lot of them are thinking that that door is closed because after what they did, especially if it's someone who went out with a bang, in their mind, they're like, that chapter is closed. So there's no point in me picking up the phone, because they're either not going to answer, they're going to block me if they haven't already blocked me, or they're going to hang up in my face. And that person's ego can't take that, right? They can't take that. So they're going to send a message, but the message that comes through, they're not going to come out with everything all at once, right? They're going to kind of test the water. I'm getting water sign because I'm hearing test the waters. They're going to kind of test the waters first, right? Because they want to see, first of all, if you're going to be open, especially if they reach out and you either don't respond or you get an attitude, you're never going to get that sincere message. You're never going to get that. I don't even know if because for some of them, I'm getting their ego is so big that it's never going to be an actual apology, but it is going to be, they're never going to say oh, I was wrong, but they will say, or for some, for some are going to be like, I was wrong. If your person openly admits they were wrong, I might have a different message for you at the end. But for some, they're not going to admit they were wrong. They're just going to be like, man, this person took me through there. I shouldn't have wasted my time. Like, no, that's not a sincere apology. That's not an admission of not necessarily guilt, because you're not guilty. You made the choice you wanted, and this is your life. You know what I mean? You are the co-creator of your life. You know, this is your choice. You know, we have free will. So it was your choice to do so. So it's not necessarily a admission of guilt, but it's like, you knew you were wrong for how you did that, but they don't want to fully admit that. They're just going to put all the blame on the other person and be like, man, that other person was this and that, and they portrayed themselves to be this and that, but they really weren't. Well, if you think about it, you kind of were guilty of doing the same thing. Either way, right? This person is going to start by sending a simple text just to kind of test the waters. And if you get an attitude or shut them off right then, you're never going to get that sincere apology. And if you're the one who your person is coming back and they don't even have a sincere apology, that probably wouldn't even be a bad idea. Let them that way, because there's something about, if you are dealing with the person, and you know your situation better than anyone, right? If you are dealing with the type of person that you know is not going to be sincere because their ego is so massive that they never admit fault, they never admit guilt, then the best thing for you to do would be to go ahead and shut it down and not even give them the opportunity, if you know it's not going to be sincere, right? To not even do it. Because then that means they're going to have to sit in it, because then that means they're never going to get the opportunity to fully voice and say what they want to say. And although their feelings are sincere, they have to go through that ego death. They have to go through that ego death. So by you ignoring them, it's going to force them to sit in those feelings, and it's going to force them to go through that ego death. And then maybe at some point they can come back with a sincere apology. But if this is your person, hopefully by the time they come back, it'll be too late, or it should be too late. But anyways, this is definitely for someone like, they were dealing with a third party, right? There was a third party situation, and this third party treating them badly. This third party either I'm getting abusing. No, I'm getting misusing, abusing, right? This third party misusing and abusing them is what caused them to appreciate you more. So while they were thinking that either you were too plain, or, you know, you just were this and you were that. And I don't know why they were saying that you were too kind, like you were too kind, you were too loving, almost to the point of like being naive. So they went out and looked for something else, and then ended up with someone who just, didn't give a damn. And now they're like, man, I miss having that person that actually showed that they cared, right? But there's something about this person misusing and abusing them. And this is going back to the song. And in one part of the verse, he goes, I never loved you more. Baby, I'm still holding on. Never realized this feeling was so strong. Never realized how much you miss someone until they're gone. So this person, unfortunately, divine feminine or divine masculine, if the roles are reversed, did not realize how much you mean to them, did not realize how sincere, how kind, how caring you were, until they had to deal with someone who was the exact opposite. And please understand that that was spirit doing that strategically, like strategically saying, oh, you thought this was better because the grass was greener, only to find out that it was a facade, right? That grass wasn't real. That grass wasn't real. And had you had stayed where you were and continued to water the grass where you were, what you were really sitting on was a fertile garden. But you went over here to something that was fake, that was a facade, because you thought that it looked better, right? Tricks on you, the joke's on you. But anyways, this person wants to come back. This person, especially if you've been feeling this energy for a long time, this person has been wanting to come back for a long time. But there's something about this person feeling like that door is closed, that opportunity is closed. Now, as far as what you should do, divine feminine, for some of you, I'm getting that door should be closed. That door should be closed. That door does not need to be reopened. This person needs to sit there and they need to experience that loss. This is a tower moment for them, and they need to experience that, because this is what's going to help them go through that ego death. But you really have to ask yourself, because I know there are too many people who are seeking out and searching out videos about the person from your past coming back, because there are too many people out there who actually want that reunion, whether it's healthy or not, right? So like divine feminine, you really have to ask yourself, right? You really have to ask yourself, do you want someone who only sees your worth, who only sees your value after being mistreated by the person they really wanted? Right? Because what did they say? They said, I saw a short that someone did where they were like, I tried to give someone everything they never had, and in doing so, I realized why they never had it, right? So you tried to give this person everything they never had, and in trying to do so, you realize why they never had it, because they didn't appreciate it. They misused it. They took advantage of it. And it's like another thing that people say where they're like, he or she or he or she. I'm saying he because this was a woman who said it, where they were like, this person they don't appreciate all that you do for them because you're not the one they wanted it from, right? You're not the one that they wanted it from. So they can't see your value. They can't see your work. They can't see your effort because you're not the one that they wanted it from. So let them be with the one they want it from. Let them choose. I'm getting like, let them choose and let them go after the people or the ones that they want it from. And then once they fail to get what they wanted from that person, not only that, once they get used and abused by that person, when they try to come back, Divine Feminine, don't reopen that door. Don't reopen that door. If it took them getting misused by someone else to realize that you were the one, you're not the one for them. You're not the one for them. The one for you is going to realize it from the moment they lay eyes on you, right? The one that's for you is going to realize your value from the moment they lay eyes on you. And it has nothing to do with physical appearance, although they're, aesthetics, like I said, are pleasing. It has nothing to do with that. There's going to be something about your soul, your character. There's going to be something about your aura that speaks volume to this person behind your outward beauty, right? But like I said, the one that's for you is not going to make you jump through all these hoops. The one that's for you is going to know it the moment they lay eyes on you. So of course we have free will. So Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, it's your choice. As always, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But sit down and really ask yourself, do you want someone who only sees your value after they were mistreated by the person they really wanted? And I'm hoping the answer is no. But of course, that is only for one group, because like I said, not every story is the same. Unfortunately, or I'm not going to say unfortunately, I'm just going to say there is another group where it is unfortunate that it took this person leaving you and going after someone they thought they really wanted to realize how much they actually really want you. It's unfortunate. But if your person is the person that comes back with a sincere apology, if your person is the one that comes back and is not afraid to say that they made a mistake and is not afraid to say that, yes, they chose wrong and they see that now, there's something about, if you're in this group too, there's something about your lips. I don't know, either your lips or your voice, because I kept hearing like lips and I kept seeing lips. So it's either something about this person really loves your lips, or they just love watching you talk or hearing you speak, something about your voice. Also, something about a rose. I put like a depiction of a rose in here, because something about either roses are your favorite flowers, or this person is going to come back with roses, specifically yellow roses, right? Or if you see a yellow rose, this is for you, right? And also something about a ring. And this person comes back, especially if you're older, if you're in the older age range, right, where this person is like, I'm ready to settle down. I've been ready to settle down, and I'm just now realizing that what I always wanted was right here in front of me. I was just too, I don't know why I'm hearing like bullheaded, or I was too blind to see it, right? But what I've always wanted has always been right here in front of me. There's something about, if your person comes back with a sincere apology, they're also coming back with a ring. Like when he says love always, this person is going to love you. This person is going to love you all. I'm hearing like always and forever, from now until the end of time. This person is going to give you the love. I'm getting like they're going to give you the love that you've been giving them. They're going to return, because y'all, the energy has to be reciprocated. This is how you know if this is going to work. This is how you know which category you're in. It has to be reciprocated, right? You can't be the one putting in all the energy while the other person is just receiving. Like they say, it's better to give than to receive. Not necessarily, right? But I'm not saying that it's better to receive and not give. The energy has to be reciprocated. It has to be matched, right? One is not better than the other. Although some people might enjoy giving more than they do receiving. Some people might enjoy receiving more than they do giving. Hopefully those people meet each other. But either way, even if on the slightest scale, the energy still has to be reciprocated. So this is how you're going to know which category. If you're someone, you're like this person from your past, everything matches, but you just don't know. And this person comes back and they're a slick talker, and you're like, okay, they come back, but how do I know they're sincere? If the energy has changed, right? If they come back and they're still in the same energy they were previously, and you'll know by the apology alone, you'll know by how they try to return, you'll know based off that if they've changed. That's going to be your first indicator. But also by the energy, the level of energy. When they come back, are they actually putting in effort, or are they still just sitting there? Don't let someone come back. I did this in the previous video. Don't let someone come back to use you as a recharge, right? When they come back, are they still allowing you to do everything while they just sit there and take and receive while you're doing all the giving and you're putting in all the effort? Or are they actually matching your efforts this time? But I don't want to get into that, because that's dabbling back into group one. This is for group two. If your person comes back and they are sincere and they are changed and they are matching your energy, I'm hearing him saying love always, and I'm hearing him sing it over and over again in my head. This person is going to love you. I'm hearing always and forever. But as always, the choice is yours. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Bye.